This is my 55-inch TCL Roku TV. I bought it from Costco about 5 years ago for a couple $100. Back in June, part of the backlight burned out on the top, but I just cranked the brightness up to compensate. I could almost hear Scotty from the engineering room crying, "I'm giving her all she's got, Captain."
Scotty, I can't change the laws of physics.
Fast forward to the day after Thanksgiving. I come home, turn on my TV, only to be greeted by a whole lot of nothing. Just blackness. I noticed that we still have sound.
Can I get
Fuck, dude. So we've got sound. If we bring our flashlight up here, I can actually see it says watch college football. I can only imagine what that was just blasting into my ear out of nowhere. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and bought 50 feet of the cheapest dimmable, kind of f***ed up. All right, come on, you piece of shit. Oh, bro, come on, look. Okay, let's unwind the bitch. What's wrong with this? Serious? Why does it only light up that far? Okay, don't fuck with it. Jesus fuck. Look, it fucking cut me. Sweet, dog. Anyway, let's wrap this up before I start bleeding all over the place. Piece of shit. Shittiest tape light that I could find on Amazon. We're gonna wrap all 50 feet of this behind the screen and see if this will light our TV up. All right, I've got the TV up on the table here. I went ahead and laid down a blanket as to not mess up the screen. Some people might cry some bullshit about static electricity. I don't give a f***. It's already broken. The first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and unplug this power cord, and then grab my handy iFixit toolkit, unofficial sponsor. This thing is pretty damn handy, and I have been able to fix so much different shit with it. Hopefully this TV will be another item I can add to my list of shit that I've fixed. We're gonna go ahead and do a time lapse of me pulling this apart. We'll see what happens. All right, we've got the back panel off here. Here we see the power board. This is apparently a common problem. At first glance, I don't really see anything wrong with it, but we don't really care. Some kind of board hooks to the screen, comes over here to the main board. This can be one of the other boards that typically goes bad, but again, we don't really care. So, just wanted to show you that before we dig any deeper, and let's keep digging. So here is the actual LCD screen part of the TV, right? We got it freed up from the TV. There was just a little bit of glue, came right apart. We're gonna leave the screen here, and I moved the rest of the TV back over here to the floor because I don't wanna move that screen. I'm really afraid we're gonna break it. But here, we've gotta get this lens off, and that'll give us access to all the backlight stuff. And I'm kind of thinking maybe I bit off a little bit more than I could chew. This seems like a pretty great idea at the time, but I'm quickly seeing that this may never work again. Stay tuned. we're in here to the LED strips, and I thought there was 3, but apparently there's only 2. We need to go ahead and get this white paper out somewhat. I'm not too worried about it, but what I do need to do is I need to be able to fish the wires for the new LED strips through the metal plate, and that way we'll be able to plug those in when we get to the reassembly. And really, I'm thinking like all our LED strips are just going to be attached to this thing. So they're supposed to be self-adhesive, but I'm probably going to bust out the hot glue gun just in case. Well, we've got our first string of lights strung, and unfortunately, old Amazon let us down. This one strip was questionable even before I put it in the TV, and unfortunately, it's too messed up. Every once in a while it'll work, but something's messed up with probably the initial connection here. Maybe I can stick some hot glue on there. But anyway, holding it like this, you can see, here's what we got so far. I don't have a whole lot of faith that this is going to stay like that. But the second roll was a lot better. So we'll get the second roll in and just kind of get it strung. And at least we'll have one good roll in here. That's 25 feet. Each one of these was 25 feet. So we'll get that other one strung out. We'll test it. And then I'll bust out the hot glue gun and see if maybe I can fix this somehow. But it's pretty questionable. We'll see. Alright, you can see the one strip I've got in here. I went ahead and laid it down while it was on. That way I could see if there was any problems as I went along. I did run into a problem right here in this corner. The strand started to go out after this point, but we kind of finagled it around and got it to work again. And here we are. So I'm going to bust out the hot glue gun, see if I can't get the other strip to start working, and then we'll put it back together. Alright. While I'm waiting for the hot glue gun to warm up, I want to admit that this turned into be a lot more work than I figured it would. And I don't recommend anybody do this if you're not familiar with electronics or some kind of safety. Not that I've been very safe. Let's be real. I haven't been safe at all. But don't do what I do. Well, we never could get the other one to light up. It lit up briefly, but I couldn't make it stay. And the glue on this stuff was pretty dang sticky, so I didn't dare try to peel it back off because I knew it wasn't going to. So that's a pretty bad mark there for those Amazon sellers. So I'll have to leave them a negative review because their shitty light isn't going to fix my TV. But yeah, it's pretty bad looking. So let's get the LCD screen back on. Let's get it back together and let's turn it on and see what it looks like. So now we've got this lens and stuff back in place with the one new light up strip in there. The hard part, the scary part here is now I've got to take it from here and I've got to get it onto this screen, the LCD screen that we left here on the table. I've got to get it all back on there and try to get it back together without breaking anything. So hold your breath, cross your fingers. This is where it gets scary, folks. All right, scratch that idea. I think it's probably better if I try to move the screen to the floor. I'll get the screen clamp back in place, and then I'll move the whole thing back to the table to finish it off. All right, we're in the home stretch here. I was looking for a place on the back of this to cut so we could get into the LED strip power supply. I'm just going to take some side cutters and just cut off a couple of these little fins here because that's going to be pretty quick, easy access. All right, we got it all back together. The LED dimmer is right here. We have a second plug now. It takes 2 plugs to make this work, but whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna stand way in the hell over there while I plug it in, just in case it bursts into flames. If it doesn't burst into flames, we'll turn it on and see how bad it looks. Okay, so far so good. Let's see what happens. Hey, we got a picture. It is not good, folks. Boy, it is not good. Hang on, let me turn some of the lights out. Well, here it is in the dark. Let's turn some lights on. As you can see, it's back together. We've got everything plugged in, including the lights. Unfortunately, we only got the one strand to work. Amazon really let us down with their poor quality bullshit. But you can only imagine how much more fantastic it would probably work if we had 2 lit up. That said, my job is pretty much done here. So thanks for hanging out and watching this video. I wanted to see if I could do this, and I'll call this, yeah, it's not bad. Like, we took this from a completely unwatchable TV to this. Whatever you want to call this. And now that I'm done with it, I'm going to take it to Goodwill on Monday and get myself a $200 charitable donation tax write-off. Like and subscribe for more tax tips. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Peace.